Okay, welcome to the January 25th, 2021 meeting. Regular council meeting. We acknowledge that we gather on Treaty 2 territory, known as First Nations territory, and the Métis Nation, and acknowledge the recommendations of the Truth and Reconciliation Report. There's no changes to the meeting agenda. So moved by Councillor Juba, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. We resolve that council accepts the regular agenda. Any additions, deletions? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Stickhilo and seconded by Councillor Riel. Be it resolved that council waives the reading and accepts and approves as circulated the minutes of the following meeting, that of the regular council meeting of January 11th, 2021. Any questions? I'll call the question. All in favor? Motion carried. Since everybody is here, we don't have to do the next resolution. Moved by Deputy Mayor Laughlin. And seconded by Councillor Eilers. Be it resolved that council now adjourns to hear the public hearing as scheduled. Call the question. All in favor? Motion carried. Council will now commence to hear the representations from any persons who wish to make a presentation for the scheduled public hearing. Lisa informs that there are no participants registered for the public hearing. So is nobody in the council chambers for this?
That is correct. There's no one here for the public hearing.
Okay. We'll now proceed with the public hearing for City of Dauphin Bylaw 18/2020, being an amendment of the City of Dauphin zoning bylaw 04/2015, which promotes and regulates the orderly use and development of land and the locations of buildings and structures in the City of Dauphin. Councillors have any questions about the amendments? This is basically clearing up the few errors that were in the original city zoning bylaw, but adding there is a surveyor certificate required for any variances. And I think we discussed that. And also, and there was some input from the community planning too, but it's just minor one. But the big one is the variance one. Any questions of councillors? So the representation for this public hearing are now completed. Moved by Councillor Bellemare. And seconded by Councillor Sticilo. Be it resolved, the council now reconvenes to the regular council meeting. Moved by Councillor Rial, seconded by Councillor Juba. Be it resolved that the public hearing for Dauphin Bylaw 18/2020 being an amendment to the City of Dauphin zoning bylaw 04/2015, which promotes and regulates the orderly use and development of land and locations of buildings and structures in the City of Dauphin be now concluded. Moved by Deputy Mayor Laughlin. Seconded by Councillor Eilers. Whereas due notice was given with respect to bylaw 18/2020 being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin to amend zoning bylaw 04/2015 regulating the use and development of land, and whereas no objections to the bylaw were received, be it resolved that the City of Dauphin bylaw 18/2020, which proposes to amend zoning bylaw 04/2015 regulating the use and development of land, be approved as per attached. And that's the amendments that were made. And I'm not going to read 2 pages of it. 3 pages. 4 pages. Boy. So there's all the changes. I think the city manager, director of operations, and the building inspector went through the bylaw and looked at things that there were some errors and some spelling errors and all that. So that's what's in the Schedule A, plus the new component of surveyor certificate required for a variance. Any questions? I'll call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare. Seconded by Councillor Sticilo. Be resolved that all items listed under item 5 consent agenda be approved as follows and form part of these minutes. The first part is 3 proclamations. First one is the Bell Let's Talk Day, whereas January 28th, 2020 marks the 11th annual Bell Let's Talk Day, day of conversation and support for mental health, and whereas 1 in 5 Canadians will suffer from mental illness at some point in their lifetime, and yet 2/3 of those living with mental illness do not seek help due to stigma, and whereas with COVID-19 affecting every aspect of our life, Canadians are feeling the impact of the pandemic on their mental health, and whereas Bell Let's Talk Day promotes mental health awareness, acceptance, and action on 4 key pillars: fighting the stigma, improving access to care, supporting world-class research, and leading by example in workplace mental health. And whereas the City of Dauphin encourage you to join the conversation with Let's Talk calls, texts, and social media interaction to drive Bell's donation to mental health past their commitment of 155 million. Now, therefore, we, the Council of the City of Dauphin, do proclaim January 28th as Bell Let's Talk Day. Signed on today. Next one is, whereas the Coldest Night of the Year campaign is a family-friendly national walkathon that raises funds that serves hungry, homeless, and hurting people in Dauphin and in 140 plus communities across Canada. And whereas the coldest night of the year is a moment when tens of thousands of Canadians step outside the warmth and comfort of home and shine a light of welcome and inclusion. And whereas walking at dusk on a cold winter's night, participants feel a hint of the challenge faced by those experiencing homelessness during the winter. And whereas the Coldest Night of the Year campaign collects donations that fund critical services through local charity partners that serve and support vulnerable families and individuals in the community. Therefore, we, the Council of the City of Dauphin, do proclaim February 20th as the coldest night of the year, dated this January 25th. And I know there's Rotary Club is got a team in, and I've collected my donation, but I could use more. And I'm sure Councillor Bellemare, have you signed up yet? Can't hear.
I haven't signed up, but I've got a big donation plan. I'm collecting all my money from everywhere and getting a big pile because I really support this event.
Okay.
I think it's important.
Yeah. So everybody, when Councillor Bellemare and myself and anybody who else wants to join in this fundraiser, please do, and let's make it a great success. And I think the funds are going towards the Habitat for Humanity. Next proclamation, whereas heart disease, stroke, and related conditions take a life in Canada every 5 minutes, and whereas Heart and Stroke's mission is to prevent disease, save lives, and promote recovery, powered by donors and volunteers, they strive to tangibly improve the health of every family in Canada every day. And whereas February is Heart Health Month, during which a Heart and Stroke canvassing campaign normally takes place to support ongoing life-saving heart disease and stroke research, health promotion, and advocacy. And whereas in 2020, due to COVID restrictions, Heart and Stroke is encouraging volunteers to launch online fundraising campaigns to connect with their community, share life-saving information, and continue to raise much-needed funds in a different way. And whereas we applaud and commend the thousands of volunteers and staff, researchers of Heart and Stroke for their dedication and commitment, and wish them continued success, we therefore, the Council of City Dauphin, do proclaim February 2021 as Heart Month, signed by the Mayor. So there's 3 proclamations, all worthy of our notice. So Please, be generous. Next, outstanding accounts receivable added to taxes, $245.87, 20 Earl Avenue, weed control costs and fine for untidy properties, $245.87 for 108 3rd Avenue Northeast, weed control costs and fine for untidy property, $248.43, 2 Johnson Street, weed control and fine for untidy property, $2,950.78, 138 4th Avenue Southwest, various property related receivables, for a total of $3,690.95, as recommended by the Director of Finance and the Tax Clerk. Filing items, AMM. AMM kicks off municipal visits, Midwestern visit, and financial impact of Code Red restrictions of municipalities, the news bulletin of January 22nd, 2021, member advisory, additional links for COVID-19, Manitoba media releases, enforcement update, financial virtual engagement for 2021 budget, municipal relations, building sustainable communities grant intake. We have several that we're going to approve tonight. Agriculture and resource development, new service delivery options for rural clients. That's has really hurt rural Manitoba, and COVID-19 bulletins. Municipal relations, municipal governance, COVID frequently asked questions update, share your feedback on safely reopening services and activities in Manitoba, Prairie Mountain Health, the Health Plus 2021, Healthy Together Now Share, Regional Share and Learn, Power and Community, the Agriculture and Resource Development, the 2020-21 Dutch Elm Disease Funding, and that's their payment of was $60,000 for Dutch Elm disease removal trees. The Thompson Chamber of Commerce EV Rally and EV Development in Manitoba is recommended by the mayor and city manager. Any questions? Okay, now we'll move on to the moved by Councillor Riel and seconded by Councillor Juba. Please resolve the corporate report from the city manager. Go ahead, city manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's been a couple weeks since our last council meeting, and apparently winter arrived this morning. So it's nice and cold and crisp, and we're all excited about the coldest night, and we're glad that it's not tonight. A few updates for you. In terms of the regular COVID-19 update, yes, Friday, February 22nd, the province announced that some relaxation of the restrictions, but the province is still in code red, and we reviewed the public health order, and things do not change for any of our city facilities. So all of our facilities are operating as they have been over the better part of the last 2 months. Next is about the Manitoba Water Services Board. The City of Dauphin has worked for many years with the Manitoba Water Services Board on utility-related projects. Starting in 2021, the Manitoba Water Services Board has moved to an electronic review and signature process for its agreements. And so administration is currently working through registration for this new process and to prepare us for the first potential project of installing UV disinfection equipment at the water treatment plant. And normally I don't think I'd ever say that this was significant news, except I have never seen such a detailed process to register for online signatures ever. And so it seems like it's a pretty ironclad system. So it's a step in doing away with paper, and so I feel very secure in going to this new signature process with the Manitoba Water Services Board. Next one is the Municipal Emergency Plan. So the Municipal Emergency Coordinator, Randy Daly, and the RM of Dauphin CAO, Nicole Chakota, and I met last week to go over the city and the RM Emergency Plan, and specifically with through two lenses. One is with the pandemic. Forgive me with the report, missed the P in the pandemic. So when was the pandemic section, which has been slightly updated now that we have some experience. We've written about pandemics for many years in our emergency plan, but really had never enacted anything through with it. And honestly, the main role of the city and the RM is basically to help with information dissemination in our community. The second lens was reviewing the staff assignments of roles to start the Emergency Operations Center and start and operate the Emergency Operations Center, as both the RM and the city offices have some new staff. So Mr. Daly will be working on those roles, reviewing the roles, taking a look at the staff we have available here, and coming up with some new assignments, basically to make sense for both the city and the RM. The next topic that I'll talk about is some bylaw education for the public. So Mr. Conrad Desmarais started with as the bylaw officer on November 30th, 2020. And for the city. And while working through learning his job, he commented how much he was learning about the city's bylaw himself, despite being a community member for many years. So that learning sparked an initiative where he would like to start putting out almost on a monthly basis some information for residents and property owners about how to take care of your property and what some of the bylaws are that residents need to know. So the first one that came out with the water bills that were sent out in July, it's called Standards of Maintenance of Residential Properties, a guide for property owners, landlords, and tenants. So it's a 2-page document and it presents highlights of the property standards bylaw that are of interest to all residents. And the document was included, as I said, in the January water bill, and I've included it with my report for council's review as well. And it is going out to all residents who have new water hookups. So it's not a one and done thing. We will continue to use the document for people who are new to our community. And as a side note, I just was proofing the next piece of information that's coming out, and it has to do with waste and recycling. So that's great. And the last thing I'll talk about is just some human resources. In general, HR work ebbs and flows throughout the year, and right now, sometimes it's minimal, and sometimes it takes many hours or a lot of hours to work on it. Right now, we are in the many hour stage, working through several staff cover-offs at City Hall and in our utility. I'm always reminded of the stellar staff that we have who pull together to ensure that the work gets done and issues are taken care of. So a huge thank you to them. We anticipate continued cover off during the next several months, which includes hiring for a new Director of Public Works and Operations and a new waste disposal attendant. And that concludes my report.
Any questions of the city manager? None? So,
None here.
Bart? Somebody have?
There were no questions at, in the council chambers, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, so move on to the accounts for approval. Moved by Deputy Mayor Loughlin, seconded by Councillor Eilers. Be it resolved that council finance accounts are being examined by council be hereby authorized and approved. 27 checks 27594 to 2767181 checks, $464,076.61. Some of the big ones, ACOM, the drainage study, $18,726.62. The January Dauphin Rec, $141,124.05. Manitoba Hydro, $15,379.61. Minister of Finance, lift station setup. I don't know what, can't remember what that's. $18,537.94. The landfill levy, $33,363.15. And OSS, the December recycling of $19,905.04. Voided checks and past range, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, and they were still dated and reissued. Any questions? No electronic payments. Any questions of the finances? Call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Next by Councillor Bellemare. Councillor Sticilo. That of the building inspector reports, and the numbers for this is for the year 2020, which is really good, I think. We in total, City of Dauphin building permits and City of Dauphin other permits, and also the Department of Labor permits, we did $8,037,532. There was 4 new single-family dwellings and 2 new multifamily, and a lot of repairs and renovations this year. $818,590 of repairs and dwellings. So we did well. A lot of renovations, and that will should help in our definitely in our mill rate. So yeah, I think it was a good year considering all the COVID and everything like that. So any questions of the building inspector report? Seeing none. Resolution carried. Moved by Councillor Riel and seconded by Councillor Juba. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the minutes of the following committee: that of the Dauphin Derailleur Cycle Club AGM agenda January 20th, and AGM minutes of and January 15th, 2020. Oh, 2021 and then 2020. Any questions of that? We're getting Councillor Bellemare.
It's not a question, it's a comment. I attended their AGM and unfortunately due to COVID, they had a long list of things, of activities that they did have planned that they were unable to plan or to actually carry out because of the restrictions. So hopefully this year is a better year for all of us and for their activities because they're gung-ho and they're just a happening group and they've got all kinds of neat things for members of our community to take part in. So kudos to them.
Yeah. And I see that they're taking reservations for the huts there. I don't know if I'll go out there, but I think I like my bed better. but it's a great thing it'll be interesting to see the development of that.
I've even heard of Dauphinites who are planning on renting from there just for the experience of sleeping someplace different.
Okay. Okay. Well, there's the Best Western, Super 8. Any questions? Call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Loughlin. And Councillor Eilers. Whereas due notice was given with respect to conditional use application 1208 375-800/CU 20-01/04, and whereas objections to the application were satisfactorily addressed to the public hearing of January 11th, be it resolved that conditional use application 1208 375-800/CU 20-01/04 for owner and applicant Bowerbird Holdings Limited, care of Robin Sneath, for Lot 13, Plan 2995 DLTO 377 Jackson, to allow the construction renovations of an existing 1,100 square foot single-family dwelling to be converted into a two-family dwelling in a residential family zone. To comply with the City of Dauphin zoning bylaw, be approved with the following conditions. A building permit be required from the City of Dauphin for the conversion of the existing single-family dwelling to a two-family dwelling. Minimum of 3 off-street parking stalls be required to be developed on site. Access using Spruce Avenue is permitted, however, no extra lane maintenance or snow clearing is provided other than what is provided as part of the normal operational policies of the City of Dauphin. And the property may not be used to operate a business, including temporary storage of building materials without the proper permissions. Any questions? I'll call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare. Seconded by Councillor Sticайло. Whereas due to extensive damage caused by a structural fire on October 7th, 2017, on July 12th, 2019, the City of Dauphin issued an order to demolish the structure of 108 3rd Avenue Northeast. And whereas on August 9th, 2019, the city received an appeal to the demolition order from the property's new owner, John Campbell, and following his appeal hearing on September 9th, 2019, Council granted an extension to complete repairs. Be it resolved, the Council accepts this information corresponding received January 5th, 2021 from John Campbell, and indicating that his plans to renovate the property have been delayed due to circumstances related to COVID-19 pandemic and requesting a 9-month extension. Further be it resolved, the council accepts as information a memorandum dated January 15th from the city manager outlining the timeline of events related to the property at 108 3rd Avenue Northeast and recommending that an extension be granted given the unusual circumstances resulting from COVID-19 pandemic. Further be it resolved, the council agrees with the city manager's recommendation and grants Mr. Campbell a further extension to October 31st, 2021 to complete the required repairs to the structure at 108 3rd Avenue Northeast. Any questions? We'll call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Riel, seconded by Councillor Juba. Whereas Council designated 2019 as a tax sale year, and whereas properties where taxes are unpaid for the years 2018, 2019, and 2020 may be eligible for tax sale, be it resolved that the designated 2019 tax sale be held on November 17th, 2021 at 10 a.m. at the City of Dauphin Council Chambers. Any questions? Moved by Deputy Mayor Laughlin. Seconded by Councillor Eilers. Whereas the provincial government launched the Building Sustainable Communities program in May 2019 and focuses on community development projects that help to build thriving, sustainable communities. And whereas the BSC program provides funding support for planning activities, capacity building, community or regional initiatives, and capital infrastructure, and many organizations and projects in Dauphin have received funding via this important program in the past. And whereas applicants to this program require municipal support, be it resolved, the council accepts as information the Building Sustainable Communities grant application submitted by the Dauphin Fire Department to renovate and update the station's classroom facilities in order to better accommodate future training sessions held within the facility. And further be it resolved, the council supports the Dauphin Fire Department Building Sustainable Communities grant to renovate and upgrade this fire station's classroom facilities and authorizes administration to provide a letter of support to be included with their application. Any questions? Call the questions. All in favor? Moved by Councillor Bellemare. Seconded by Councillor Stickhilo. Same thing with, this is a building Sustainable Communities program. This is for the whereases are the same. Be it resolved that council accepts as information correspondence dated January 22nd, 2021 from Ella Sahuka grant / map coordinator for the Dauphin and District Snowmobile Association, requesting a letter of support for the club's Building Sustainable Communities grant and application to replace an older snow machine used for various purposes, including checking their groomed trails and removing and erecting signage. And further be it resolved that council supports the Dauphin and District Snowmobile Club's Building Sustainable Communities grant application to replace an older snow machine and authorizes administration to provide a letter of support to be included with their BSC application. Any questions? I'll call the question. Motion approved. Moved by Councillor Riel, seconded by Councillor Juba. Whereas the Dauphin Chamber of Commerce will be hosting a lunch and learn series for 2021. Be it resolved that council approves the purchase of tickets for mayor, councillors, and senior staff to attend the 2021 Dauphin and District Chamber of Commerce Lunch and Learn series with all costs borne by the city. So when is that? Whenever you see it.
First one is this week, and the details are a little further in the agenda about the first lunch and learn.
Oh, okay. So if councillors are interested, go ahead. Moved by Councillor Riel, second by Councillor Juba. Be it resolved, the council accepts as information a letter dated January 19th from Richard Bankert, President of the Dauphin and District Chamber of Commerce, to Premier Brian Pallister and Dr. Brent Rusin, voicing their concerns over the long-term impact of COVID-19 public health order restrictions for small businesses and urging them to consider a modified set of critical red restrictions on January 22nd, and this will allow small businesses to safely open their doors. Be it resolved, the council accepts this information, an email dated January 19th from Stephen Chagota, Executive Director of the Dauphin and District Chamber of Commerce, requesting that their members and all businesses in the Parkland make similar requests to the province, including the MLA Dauphin Riding Brad Michaleski. And further be it resolved, the council supports the Chamber's request and notes that the fact the province did provide fewer restrictions on business, as well as other changes in the public health order issued January 22nd. Further be it resolved, the council encourages everyone to respect the public health order and maintain the fundamentals of wearing a mask, physical distancing, hand washing, staying at home when ill, and limiting non-essential trips out of the house. So most of it, definitely the restaurants and few other places are waiting patiently on that, but with all the sort of one good thing that I never really agreed with was this essential, non-essential, and that's been gone, and let small businesses do their thing. Moved by Deputy Mayor Loughlin, seconded by Councillor Eilers. Well, this is the bricks. Be it resolved that council accepts as information correspondence dated December 16th from Taylor Smith, Vice Principal of the Dauphin Regional Secondary, outlining plans to develop a DRCSS first outdoor classroom in the spring of 2021 and requesting partnership with the City of Dauphin to form a donation of 2 pallets of sidewalk bricks for a total of 240 square feet, and further be it resolved that council has information by memorandum from the city manager dated January 14, noting that the city is in possession of a stockpile of brick salvage from the conversion of brick sidewalks back to concrete and indicating these bricks would be historically sold at auction for approximately $200 each pallet, total 120 square feet. Further be it resolved, the council agrees that the city manager's recommendation to donate 2 pallets of approximately 240 square feet of salvage bricks to the DRCSS outdoor classroom, and further be it resolved, the council supports the concept of an outdoor learning space that will integrate benefits of nature into the learning environment, while at the same time providing a unique opportunity for DRCSS carpentry skills to hone their skills in a project that will benefit the larger DRCSS student body. What a great thing. I think that's, and you know, maybe we're limiting. If they need more, give them more. Okay, all in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Sticайло. Whereas the next census will take place May 2021, and whereas accurate and complete census data supporting programs and services that benefit our community, be it resolved, the council accepts this information dated January 13th, 2021 from Jeff Bolby, Director General, Census Management Office, Statistics Canada, notifying the city of the upcoming census and anticipated related jobs and the importance of all residents completing the census questionnaire in a safe manner. Further be it resolved that the City of Dauphin supports the 2021 census and encourages all residents to complete their census questionnaire, including an option to do it online at www.census.gc.ca. It's important, but certainly those numbers are used for per capita grants from both the federal and provincial government, and we'll certainly be hearing about it in the next months up to May. So moved by Councillor Riel, second by Councillor Juba. Whereas each year, Mayor and Council review council appointments and board appointments and renew the appointments for the next term. Be it resolved, the Council approves the Council Committee and board appointments for 2021 as per attached Schedule B, and further be it resolved that the Dauphin at Risk Teen Dart Program Committee be removed, and further be it resolved that the Community Safety and Wellbeing Advisory Board be added, and further be it resolved that the Industrial Park and Land Committee be renamed as the Business Park and Land Committee, and further be it resolved that the Planning and Priorities Committee be renamed as the Strategic Planning and Priorities Committee. Any questions? Seeing none, motion approved. Moved by Deputy Mayor Laughlin and seconded by Councillor Eilers. Be it resolved that bylaw 18/2020, being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin, to amend the zoning bylaw 04/2015 19, regulating use and development of land be now read second time as amended. Any questions? Call the questions, all in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare. Second by Councillor Stickhill. City Manager, Charlotte, I noticed we have 3 of these. All 33 readings are happening on today. I don't think we can do that.
No, we did the first reading last council meeting. Then we had the
We did?
hearing. So we had the public hearing, and then there was no objections, and council approved everything. So then we can finish off the bylaw with second and third.
Okay. And I guess we should. Any questions? All in favor? Everybody's in favor?
I am as well, Al.
Yeah, good.
Everybody says yes in council chambers.
Unanimous. I think I can spell it. I think so.
All for one and one for all.
Moved by Councillor Riel. Seconded by Councillor Juba. Okay, here, all the invitations, there's one. Oh, yeah, the Dauphin and District Chamber of Commerce, Lunch and Learn, Effective Tools to Marketing Your Business Online on January 27th, 2021. So councillors want to register, please let, I guess the chamber on that, and saying that and also the city's paying for your registration. Okay. And I assume it's at lunchtime.
Yes, it's at 12 till 1.
12 to 1? Okay, good, thank you. Now we'll start with councillor privileges, and I'll go the way I go with the signing of resolutions. Councillor Bellemare first.
All right, thank you. For council work on January the 13th, I attended the liaison meeting with the RM, and our city team meets with Reeve Riz, Councillor Tom Gibbs, and their CAO Nicole Chakota monthly to discuss items and make decisions that affect both of our municipalities. And I want to say that this is a great committee. There is really good discussion, and it's really a strength for our community that the RM and the city are working so well together on so many issues. On January the 18th, and as well this afternoon, I attended a webinar from the Canadian Municipalities for Crime Prevention with both the city manager and Councillor Reel. And there's a series of 3 webinars on how to construct a community safety and wellness plan. So right now we're learning about what's involved, and then we'll be figuring out our next steps. For community events, on the 20th, I attended the Derailers AGM, as I mentioned, and as mentioned, their 5 micro cabins are now available to rent on Airbnb for $100 a night. Plus, they're asking that you only walk on the co-op community trail right now, that there's a sufficient snow base. That trail is colored green on the trail map. They are grooming the blue and black color trails to ensure that they're in really good shape for the fat bikes and snowshoes. And then after the snow melts, the blue and black trails will again be available for hiking. The Rotary Club, it has a snowshoe race that they were going to be doing, and it's a virtual event, so check online for that if you're interested. And I think Councillor Juba is going to be talking about coldest night of the year a little bit later on, so I'll let him do that. And I'd like to follow up what City Manager Griffith said about the great staff that the city has. So again, Conrad Demaria, our new bylaw enforcement officer, put together that really helpful piece of paper that we all received about the city bylaws. Even as a councillor, I really appreciated the condensed version. This morning when I was out driving around, I noticed the city trucks were out and they put lots of gravel around, and a couple of them were outside opening up a water main on Main Street, and I think it was like -31 at that time, and they're working on our behalf. So I just want to say how much you are appreciated, all of our city staff members. And again, thank you to each of you for all that you're doing to keep yourself, your loved ones, and your community members safe during this pandemic. And that includes my report.
Thank you, Councillor Bellemare. Councillor Sakala.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. For myself, January 11th, regular council meeting, and January 18th, the planning and priorities meeting. Just one other thing to note, on the mornings of January 19th, 21st, and 22nd, the Manitoba Planning Conference was held virtually. I attend this conference annually as I'm a registered professional planner with the Canadian Institute of Planners, and it's directly related to the work that I do on a daily basis. However, the information that is presented there is also a great fit for councillors and municipal staff, as it covers many aspects of planning, both urban and rural planning. One of the reasons that I'm mentioning it today is because Urban Systems did a presentation on active transportation planning in small and rural community settings, and it highlighted the work being done in the city of Dauphin on our active transportation strategy. It was presented very well and praised the existing work done by our community. It highlighted some concerns and challenges that were found and provided the opportunities that the city can capitalize on. So all in all, it was a great presentation, and there was numerous other webinars and sessions that were hosted over those 3 mornings that were really relevant, and it's a good planning conference all around this year. So with that ends my report. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Sakala. Councillor Yeo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was sick on the January 11th council meeting. January 14th, I attended the Chamber of Commerce virtual Zoom meeting. I just want to thank again the Chamber for supporting our local business. Stephen has done an excellent job he's on the radio and social media daily with trying to promote businesses in our community. So thank you to the Chamber and Stephen for that. Job well done. January 18th, again with our CAO, our city manager, and Councillor Bellemare attended the Canadian Municipal Network on Crime Prevention, the 12-hour training session, which is done over 3 Mondays, 4 hours each. Attended that again as well today. Our discussion today was on community engagement, mapping, and the collection of data for the implementation of a safety and well-being committee and a strategy. So we have one more 4-hour session on next Monday, February 1st. Then in March will be another 12 hours session over a period of time on how to training on how to develop an actual community and safety well-being plan. So that's it. There ends my report.
Thank you, Councillor Yeo. Councillor Juba.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. January the 11th, I attended the regular city council meeting by Microsoft Media. On 13th, there was a special meeting of the cemetery board called, but I couldn't attend that meeting. On January the 18th, I attended the planning and priorities meeting by Microsoft Media. For community events, I just want to thank thank you to Dan Kozak and Nick Yakimish from Canada's National Ukrainian Festival for traveling the streets of Dauphin and visiting businesses and people's homes. I just want to thank them for stopping by my place. Enjoyed the Ukrainian carols. This is in celebration of New Year, and for those who celebrate by the Julian calendar, and it was really nice to have entertainment in the neighborhood other than the fire trucks. So it was really really good. Although the fire trucks are welcome anytime. January the 20th, attended a Habitat for Humanity chapter board meeting. There's a major planning for the planning is underway for the Menial Home Contest and also for the coldest night of the year. Donations are starting to come in fast and furious for coldest night of the year, and I want to thank the Rotary Club for joining in and helping us along with that fundraiser. Just a couple of other small things. There's going to be a major announcement coming soon from Habitat. So once the coldest night is out of the way, and we'll be able to make a big announcement for our Habitat group. Moving along, I just want to pass on some condolence to the Zane Hoopo family on Zane's passing. Zane passed away this last weekend in Brandon, and Zane was a good friend of mine, and he will be missed. Mr. Mayor, that's my report.
Thank you, Councillor Juba. Deputy Mayor Laughlin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On January the 11th, the regular council meeting here at City Hall. January 18th, the Planning and Priorities meeting here at City Hall as well. And on January the 20th, I also took part in the Dauphin Derailleurs Cycle Club AGM. Obviously, don't want to sound too much like a broken record. You guys have repeated this numerous times, but just obviously a great group of people doing awesome things up at Northgate and here in the community. And as mentioned, Northgate, they're taking bookings now. You guys had mentioned that earlier in the meeting, $100 for their micro cabins a night. And you can just go to their Facebook page, the Northgate Facebook page. There's a rumor going around, though, when it comes to continental breakfast. I hear that Clayton Swan and Chris Wolfenden will be delivering those to the micro cabins each morning for people that have booked. So not sure if that's a confirmed rumor or not, but send them a message on their Facebook page while you're booking your micro cabin. And that does it for my report.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Laughlin. That's a new twist on there on the continental breakfast. Well, maybe it's an added incentive to book something. Anyway, Councillor Eilers.
Thank you. On January 11th, I attended City Council. On January 12th, I was with the Dauphin Ag Society AGM virtual meeting, and it actually worked really well. There was a lot who've never been on Zoom or meetings, so very well attended. On January 13th, I attended the cemetery board meeting. January 18th, the planning and priority meeting. And on January 19th, the healthy communities for age-friendly communities. It was a Zoom virtual meeting. Again, a lot of good information shared. And just an update, the trees that are tagged with the Dutch elm disease are gradually being removed. Hopefully we can be more proactive next year. Just a note for us to be aware, Winnipeg has 8,000 diseased trees that were tagged for removal. And I cannot stress enough how important that we improve quick removal of the diseased trees. It's really important to save our canopy. This is a real devastation. And thanks to our bylaw officer, Conrad, for the standards for maintenance and of residential properties, including our mail out that was in our water bills. I've had a lot of comments. This is a long time coming. I'd asked for something like this before when we were changing some of our bylaws, and I think this is a really great because it covers a lot more than I had requested. And of course, it's a very cold front, so please keep warm, and I want to encourage people to take special care of your four-legged pets. And please continue to follow the public health regulations to combat COVID-19. Wash, sanitize your hands, I mean, and wear a mask in public places. I guess I'm really waiting for my hair to get cut one of these days, so it's very, very pronounced in my vocabulary. And I want to really encourage people to stay warm, take extra care, dress for the weather, And make sure you wear your masks. That's another way to keep warm as well. And that ends my report.
Thank you, Councillor Eilers. On the CNUF caroler, with quite a setup that Dan Kozak had, came to the house. I see the cart coming out, and he pulls out his keyboard and microphone and sang a bunch of carols, both in English and Ukrainian. So thank you to the CNUF board for thinking of another way to do the carol. They usually come with a horse-drawn buggy, and I thought it was very nice, and I hope they did well in their contributions. I hope Councillor Juba really dug deep. January 18th, I missed the PNP meeting, and I thank Deputy Mayor Loughlin for earning his salary that day. And thank you, Deputy Mayor. And mentioned by Councillor Bellemare, the RM, City RM liaison, and we're certainly a good way of building relationships with the rural community. And as mentioned, stay safe, drink a lot of water, wash your hands, wear a mask, the whole thing, and be safe. And concludes our meeting. The meeting will be recessed.